Okay, so it looks like I am live now, which is good. That was weird. We were having some weird technical difficulties here. So let's talk about what today's stream is going to be like. I am planning an animation, and I've been kind of planning it and working on it and thinking about it for the last couple of maybe 2 months now. I took a month off, thought about it, didn't work on it. But yeah, so tonight we're going to be working on the fantasy door that'll be part of the animation. And so we're going to model, rig, texture, and animate, not in that order necessarily, this door. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and let's get to it. Okay, so let me put on some music first, and then we can get started. So something like this. This is going to be really loud to start, but there we go. Okay, so I think we should be good. Hope you guys are having a good night tonight, and then let's see if we can get this done in 2-hour stream time. Okay, so we're not going to delete the cube. We will just turn this cube into the door. So there we go. And we can go ahead, tab into, actually, let's jump over to the modeling workspace and scale this in on the x-axis. Right about there. What's that resize look like? Let's do 0.25. Okay. And then look at it from the front, not the top. I messed it up. I wanted to do it the other direction. So let's undo all of that and then scale on the Y, 0.25. There we go. Cool. So there is our door essentially. And I'm going to want to scale this on the Z-axis, but instead of scaling it, maybe we just move it up. So let's grab these and then move them up, what, 3 maybe? That should be fine. And then select everything, scale it out on the X-axis 2. Something like that, I think, should be good. Okay, and then what I want to do is we'll turn off X-ray, we'll go back to solid shading, and we're going to add in a couple of loop cuts here. And then, maybe I should have only done 2. Let's go back. 4, maybe. Okay, and then let's do this. We'll turn on proportional editing, move this up on that Z-axis, and we'll try to get a bit of a rounded door. There we go. All right, so the door is, well, the base of the door is basically made. We're gonna go ahead though and add in some additional details. So I think let's do this. Let's just add in 2 loop cuts. We can leave them in place, that's fine. We can scale them. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do that one at a time, so we'll turn that off. And I guess let's turn on screencast keys, because here, we'll enable this. And all right, still trying to figure out that one. I guess we'll go back to the other one. We'll drop this in the center. And there we go. Okay, so we have the door, the beginning of our door. Let's go ahead and grab this, scale this down to 0, and do the same thing up here. Scale Z 0, and there we go. Okay, so the door is basically good, but I want to add in a couple of metal bars going across, and then we're going to add some hinges over on this side. So let's go ahead and select this one edge here, and we'll hit Shift S and move the cursor to selected, where we can then just add in a new cube. And we can go ahead and scale that cube down pretty far here. And you know what? That's probably fine. Nope. Okay. Let's go into wireframe. We don't want it to be too thick, so scale it down just a little bit further. And then scale on the x-axis. And then I guess we can move it over on the x-axis here. And probably something like that, I think. Because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have some hinges, and these hinges will kind of hold the door in place. Hey, Vlad, welcome to the stream. You're the best, bro. Keep going. Well, thank you. You're the best, too. I appreciate that. All right, so then we can just duplicate that because that's essentially going to be the exact same thing here. Maybe we'll take it a little lower, and we'll grab all of that and move it down just a bit because there's going to be a sign posted on the door right up here. So started getting the door looking okay. I do want to duplicate these though, so just Control L, select everything, Shift D to duplicate, lock it to the Y-axis. And there we go. Now both sides of the door have a metal bar. But I guess the question that I need to ask myself is, if we have a medieval door, does it have a bar on each side? Or does the bar only, is the bar only on a single side to hold the planks together? What do you guys think? You think both? You're curious for the result? Me too, man. I'm curious for the result too. We'll see how it turns out. All right, well, if you're going to say both, then I'm going to do both. But if I'm going to do both, then what I'm going to do is not duplicate. I'm just going to extrude this out so it sticks over on both sides, and then it'll look like we've just like wrapped the door. Except you really won't see this part, so it'll look like they're just kind of connected. And there we go. So now we've got a metal band going around, and then we can basically select this, Shift S, cursor to selected, and we can add in a cylinder here. Way too many vertices. Let's drop that down to, say, 8. That should be fine. Drop the radius way down. It should be pretty thin there, I think. And drop that depth down. Definitely doesn't need to be that big. Okay, and then we need to rotate this to where that basically matches up there. And I think that will be fine. It's not like anyone will be really paying attention to this tiny little detail in the animation. So it's probably okay. I'm going to say it's probably okay. And then that this just means is what we'll do when we connect it is the door frame itself will have a little thing. So we'll make the door frame here in just a minute, but it'll be like they've set the door onto those hinges. And then we duplicate this down, move it down, and there we go. Something like that, I think, will be probably pretty good. Okay, now I need to, so in the animation, there's going to be the word I'm looking for is like parchment on the door, kind of nailed onto the door. And it's basically just going to have a note that's going to tell them like, hey, be careful if you enter here, like the company isn't responsible for what happens. So, you know, can't sue us. So I guess what we'll do here is we will just move the cursor to selected, and we can just add in a plane real quick. And let's rotate this 90 degrees on that x-axis. Drop the size down. And then move this down on that z-axis a little bit. Something like that I think should probably be fine. And then I'm going to want to nail this to the door. So whatever, let's just do it this way. Rather than trying to make a new mesh for it because the parchment's not going to come off, we'll just add in a couple of loop cuts here. Scale those on the x-axis so they're smaller. So we can inset that and extrude it just a little bit. Extrude again and scale this one up. And that'll kind of look like a nail is what I'm kind of hoping here. So we can scale this down and can extrude out this way and scale it down. And if people were to really look at it, which they probably won't do because this will be in the shot like temporarily, then we'll be good. But if they were to look at it, they would see like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense here. Don't know if I should put a frame around it, but I feel like if I put a frame around it, then it doesn't make sense to have the nail in the door, right? So since that's the case, I guess we'll just leave it as it is for right now. But above this parchment, so we should move that down a little bit, there will be a light. So need to add in a light here, so we'll go from here to here, and we'll hit J, and it'll join through, and we'll just keep that face loop connected all the way around. So there we go. So then that allows me to grab that edge, move the cursor to selected, and we're going to add in the lamp light that's going to be shining over, because this will be in a cave, and it'll have a magic light kind of showing this down for would-be adventurers to know what they're getting themselves into. All right, so here I think we'll add. I'll admit I don't quite know the best way to focus this light. I've been thinking about how I would want to do it, and I'm not sure if like a focused light onto the parchment would be the best way of doing it, or if there is a better way that could be done. So I think what we should do is just play around with it real quick and just see what we got. So we can rotate this then. 90 degrees. There we go. You think spotlight? All right, I'm gonna agree with you on spotlight. We're gonna try that first. See if I absolutely hate it. If I absolutely hate it, we will back off of the spotlight. But it's not. it's a magic spotlight, so it's not going to look exactly like a light bulb. What we want instead is basically just a magic stone holder is what I would say we would want. So we can take this radius down just a bit more. We'll say it's like slammed into the door here. And hide this. And then I guess I want to scale this thing down. So Control L, change this to normal. Okay, and then let's rotate this on the x-axis 45 degrees in the negative. And then I can probably just delete that face because it's not going to be seen. Bring everything back. And there we go. So it's like a pike being held onto the door, and then we can figure out how we want this to go. Here. Suppose I could look up a reference image. So let me look up a reference image real quick. Just. Okay, so I kind of like that idea. Huh. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is we'll treat it like if it was a candle, which means that essentially what we're going to do is just we'll extrude out and curve. Why am I doing that? Let's use the spin tool. Let's be smart about this. Grab the spin tool here, change it to global, and then change this to the x-axis. At which point I should be able to pull out there, and we want to kind of adjust. We kind of want to adjust it a little bit. Oh no! Okay, well that was kind of what we were wanting to do. So let's try that again. Pull that out and adjust it. Something like that. We can drop the number of steps down because we definitely don't need that many steps. And then let's adjust the angle back just a little bit like that. All right, and I think that should be fine. So then we can extrude out along that z-axis, scale this up. Something like that, maybe. Okay, and then we'll put the magic stone in that section, and so then the magic stone will also have an emission light on it, so the parchment can be adequately read or accurately read in the lighting from the magic stone. That's the plan. We'll see how it all works out. So in 20 minutes, we've basically got our door modeled. We do need to work on the door frame, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not entirely sure I want to do like a complete frame because it's going to be a cave door. So I think maybe all we need to do is add like a bar to push or pull the door. And then maybe model the pieces that the door will slide onto on the other side. I have no idea what this stone was going to look like. My plan was kind of to just like figure it out as I went along. Shade that smooth. Go over here, go to normals, auto smooth the normals, increase that degree up. Something like that. Cool, so now we need a door handle. I mean, the door can be pushed closed, but I think what I want to do is we want to add in one of those like ring handles. I think that would be cooler than just adding in a, just like a standard, like modern handle. So let's go ahead and hit Shift S, move the cursor over here, and then we'll add in, so we can add in a cube. And it does not need to be that big. Hide this. Thanks for doing the shade smooth and normals. Now Unreal won't complain every time you import in something, I assume. But yeah, hopefully. Good luck, man. Mark, welcome to the stream. ArcZeo, hello. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I know you could have 100 other options to spend your time, and I appreciate that you're spending it with me. Wait on scale and Shift Z. Shift Y, there we go. You know what? Maybe I don't want a thing there. Let me get one of those. Let me see what these doors have. Okay, I see how they do it. I see how they do it. I'm not... Alright, so I do need a cube there. Then let's bring back that cube and scale this on the x-axis. Do something like that. And then I guess what we're going to have to do here is add in 2 loop cuts right there. Grab this face and move it out on that y-axis. And there we go. All right, let's move this whole thing down a bit then, I guess. There we go. And bring back what was hidden. All right, cool. All right, fine. I guess if that's the way we're going to play it, that's the way we're going to play it. So then we can move... No. Cursor just selected, and we'll add in a torus here. Real nice like. And we definitely don't need something this big, so let's go ahead and shrink. That's probably fine. Now we'll go to 8. And let's say 21. It's probably okay with that. Let's drop this radius in real quick. And I guess we'll move this down just a little bit. There we go. Ba-ba-boom. Something like that. Let's rotate this. Okay, I think that's probably good. No one's gonna really notice. Yeah, no one's gonna really notice if it doesn't work exactly the way we want it to. And there we go. It's all smooth looking. And we're good. Things are looking good. Okay, cool. So that's the door. It's basically finished. They will push the door open, and then they will move it back. Am I using one base mesh to create new characters? No, Arczio. I create the characters from scratch every time, depending on what I'm working on. However, once you like get used to it, and because like I haven't made a ton of characters, right? Like I've doodled and made some characters, but I've only made a couple of characters that I'm like kind of happy with. So I don't have enough to where like I have a solid base mesh that I can start off with every single time. It would be pretty easy to create one, but I just haven't bothered to create one. I like the process. It helps me memorize it. But like once you get good enough, there's no reason to continue doing that. So like Rodeska, my mentor, he doesn't use or he doesn't recreate everything every time. He just uses a base mesh for the girls that he models. Okay, so let us Shift C. There we go. And it's time to make the piece that these things are going to go into. So we will add in, I guess a cube is fine here. We can move this over. Position it something like that. All right, and what I'm assuming is that these will be bolted into the wall. So now we can grab each side. Thought I hit shift. Inset those a little bit and pull them out. And then we can move, let's turn on snapping, not increment. Let's go to vertex and GX and then lock. And there we go. Those will be bolted into the wall. So thanks for stopping by, Vlad. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your workday. Okay. And so I guess kind of what I pictured. Oh, let's go ahead and turn off snapping. I guess kind of what I pictured would be that the door would fit onto these hinges. So I could then cursor to selected, add in a cylinder, rotate that sucker 90 degrees on the y-axis, drop the depth, but increase the radius. And then I will use the spin tool again. We want to do this on the y-axis, and we just want to pull this up. There we go. All right, and I think something like that is good. This will be, I guess, hinge mount? I don't know. We'll just call it hinge. It's fine. duplicate that, move it up on that z-axis, and there we go. So now our door will attach to the wall of the cave, and you'll be able to see around it a little bit. I guess, or maybe they'll have carved out a chunk of the wall. I'm not sure quite how I'll place this, but I think with the way that I'm mounting it right now, I think we're just gonna have it like mount into the wall, and then there'll be some cave sticking out in front of it so that they couldn't get to those hinges. Yeah, and then we're gonna want the door. Actually, I guess let us select this one face here, cursor to the selected, and then we want to go to view and move the location of the 3D cursor down to 0. And then we should just be able to right click, set origin to 3D cursor. And so now when we rotate this door, it's going to do that. All right, we're still going to rig it because we're going to have to handle and everything. But now it's going to rotate in the right location. Cool. So we're good. All right, so we have basically created that door. I'm pretty happy with that. Took us, what, 30 minutes? Modeled the whole door, got the hinge set up, got the light, got the handle. We're good. Okay, now I need to make a magic stone. So let's do this. We can go ahead, make a new collection here. Render, and move the camera and the light in there. Then we can turn that off so that we don't have to worry about it. All right, now I added a really cool add-on called Extra Objects. So we have mesh, and then we have the ability to generate rocks, which that's freaking cool. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm pretty happy with that overall. So, oh, you can like fully change the rocks. Okay, I have no idea how to work with this. So we're gonna give it a shot and see if I can generate some type of magic stone using this rock generator. And I guess for that then, let's select the door, go in here, and move the 3D cursor up here, and then we'll try to create the stone at this location. Maybe there. Instead of exactly touching, we'll create it a little bit down from there. All right, so we want to add in a rock generator. It's really big for a rock. So let's see what we can do. Let's change up this deformation here. I really don't know how this works. Ah, you can get 2 rocks. No, I'm good. Just the one. Oh, we may have gone too far with the display detail. Okay, so what do we decrease this roughness? What do we got? Oh, we get to a very, very smooth stone is what we get. I gotta admit, this is a pretty cool way to, this is the default ice chunk, huh? Okay, that generates a fake ocean, a river rock. That's cool. What about the sandstone? Nope. It's cool though. I don't know. All right, we're just not going to play around with it. It's kind of cool, but it's not what I want to work with right now. So let's go ahead and we can just add in an icosphere. It's fine. Drop the radius down. Okay, and let's do this. Grab this, we'll move this down just a bit, maybe scale it down a bit. Or should we have the smaller bit? I guess we should probably have the smaller bit go into this. Something like that. Mark, make Vlad proud. I'll try. All right, so there we go. We kind of have a stone. I don't know if I'm super happy with it, but until I create the actual stone that'll go throughout the rest of the cave, I'm gonna be happy with this stone. All right, so we are good, basically. I could do a little bit more detail work on the metal. Like I could add in some metal studs. I think we probably should do that to make it look like it's actually holding the door together. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll add some detail there, and then I think we'll be good. So cursor to selected, and we can go ahead and add in a cylinder here. Rotate this 90 degrees on that x-axis. Ah, dang it. Okay. Cylinder. I mean, there's no real way to determine like how you want your studs, right? Like that's not a thing. So they could be circular caps, they could be you know, like little spikes sticking out of the door. I think circular caps is going to be the best. So then in that case, let's go ahead and drop that the radius is fine. The depth is way too tall. And then we can rotate this 90 degrees. Grab this face. Let's bevel this out a little bit. Increase those segments. And move this back into the door. And there we go. So we can duplicate this along the x-axis. We'll put one roughly in the center of each. Alright, and before we get any further, I do want to delete these back faces. because they'll never be seen. Okay. Guess I have to keep moving them down on my own. Ran out of space on my screen. Okay. There we go. Now our door has studs on this side, and I guess we go ahead and grab all of them. And what I guess Shift D. Cool, leave it in place. Scale Y -1. Great. And then G Y. Until they're basically studded on each side. Okay, and I guess I could go and make some more detail in the door if I really wanted to. Not feeling it. I think this is probably enough, and then we'll just kind of lightly texture it and call it good. But we are doing all right, so we can go ahead and save. Let's go ahead and select the door and these hinges. And actually, let us do this. Let's go to this is the hinge, so we want to change this to the object data here to hinge. Okay, and then we'll switch over here and we'll make this one use the hinge object data. So that way they are linked up, and then we only have to do UVs for one of them. And this can be stone. And then this is door. Cool. So with that done, let's jump over to the UV editing workspace. Zoom in on this and hit tab. Now this is not going to perfectly unwrap like that, so we can go into view, overlays, stretching, and area stretching, and then now we can unwrap this properly. And I guess just do live unwrap, select everything, keep those selections in sync. No, I don't want to extrude them. I want to right click and mark seam. All right, and let's do this. Let's get in here, hide this, and then delete that face because it will never be seen. And this is all going to be one color, so it doesn't really have to go too far in depth here, but deselect all of that and then mark seam. All right, there we go. It's pretty good. This is all going to be one color anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we get it super small. So I'm good with those. I'm good with those UVs on that. Now we can select the door and look at this hodgepodge mess of things, and we'll fix this UVing. All right, the door handle. Well, I guess we should probably do this part by part. So obviously what we'll do is we will select the entire rim of faces here, and then everything on the bottom, mark a seam, and then we'll come up here to select, mirror selection. Oh, come on. They're mirrored. Okay, we probably don't have to unwrap those, but we will need to unwrap this bar. Actually, you know what? We'll unwrap the back because you're going to see the front of the door, and I don't want there to be any evidence of, like, the seam's not working right. Okay, so I think, I wonder why all of these things, why it's still so red. Ah, it's because of this. Okay, I guess that's kind of what I figured. Mark that as a seam. Yeah. Okay, so this kind of looks like a pretty decent UV layout for some of this. You know what? Honestly, I'm okay with there not being any seams on these. What the heck? Where is this? Where is this nonsense? Ah, it's up here. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. I'm not going to go super detailed on this, but I guess I could just make this one last seam here. And that way I don't end up with anything like red. I know like in here, these little bumps are going to be red, but I don't care. All right, cool. So at this point, we have unwrapped our model. I'm happy with the unwrap, but I'm not happy with the fact that currently I've got to hand paint all of this. So we're going to readjust the UV map that got generated, and then we'll get back to work, I guess, on texturing. You know, for an hour's worth of work, I don't know, I probably could have done it faster. But I think that's okay for now. All right, so we will unlink of that selection here, select everything over here, move it over, and switch to island select, and kind of pull off these things that, like, I don't know where that face goes. That is not the same. All right, I'll have to match. Okay, that's a little bit better, so we can move everything off now. And I think I'm good. Okay. Those are almost the same size. I don't know what these belong to. I'll figure it out. There's the piece of paper. Okay, so all of these little button things, we're just going to move together. All right, so now we can turn on snapping, move to vertex, and move these on top of each other. There we go. Top face, bottom face. Okay, these can go right on top of each other then. I'll put these down over here. Where's this one? And I can probably put these on here as well, because there's just going to be the top and the bottoms of the bar. Didn't I move these already? Could have sworn I moved that one already. Cool. Okay, so I think that's probably about as large as I can scale them anyway, without messing anything else up. So I guess at this point I've done about all I can to limit the amount of hand painting that I'm going to have to do. Yep, alright, there we go. Because I can't scale this thing up because of that. If I scale any further, it's just going to go outside the bounds of the texture, and I don't want that. So, just undo all of that, and there we go. Ah, shoot. If I unwrap them together, they're going to cause major problems. Balls. Should have thought of that before I got started. Should have unwrapped it all together. I can like put them up here though. And that'll be fine. It doesn't really have to. Oh, look, all I gotta do is scale it down even further. Okay, whatever. And then I can take this. Fine, I guess. Alright, I think that's all to the door. Yeah, okay. That's basically all there is to the door. And it's all there. So there we go. Alright, now we can get into texturing because everything is ready to be textured. So, with that saved, go over to texture paint here. And I suppose we can name the material. We'll call this door. And hinges. Yeah, that's fine. And then I guess we go up here to the texture slots. Add in a base color. Ooh, we can't do an emission map anymore. Cool. All right, so we'll do a base color here, 2048. I don't care if these textures are super dense. It won't matter. Okay. Alright, so I'm making a wooden color palette, and I'm going to steal the colors. Actually, can I steal the colors from a previous thing that I've done? Let me see if I can do that rather than recreate the colors that I've done in the past. Maybe it's in the beginner weapons. Ah, can you no longer steal the color palettes anymore? Interesting. Okay, apparently you can't steal color palettes any longer. Dumb? Blender 2.83, I declare that to be dumb. Oh, maybe I just didn't have color palettes in that one. That's weird. I usually have color palettes. Alright, let me see what I have as far as color, because I don't want to just get... I'd rather not get all those colors again from Adobe. So... let's see, where's my... Here. Take the wood palette from here. So I take the wood and the metal palettes. Here we go. Sweet. So with the fill brush, we'll just fill in a dark wood color. Maybe, you know what, maybe we should go a little lighter. All right, so we have the base for our cave door. That's great. That was very quick. Definitely easy to get through. Welcome to the server, Mila. MCCM, I don't know Russian or Bulgarian or Cyrillic. My apologies. All right, cool. There we go. So now we can go to the metal palette and drop in some metal there. And then I only have to grab one of these because of the way we set it up, and I can fill in the lighter color. And now that color has been applied to all of them, and that's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful not having to do all of the painting. So we'll take that normal metal again, drop it. No, turn that back on. Drop it on there. All right, cool. It did fill. And then oh, I gotta fix that. We need the bleed to be 5 pixels. That'll... I'll go over. Finally found this video. It looks like what you needed. Okay. Cool. I'm glad the translator worked for you. Okay, cool. So there we go. We have metal. We have wood. Those are good. Let's, can I fake this palette? Yes, I do want to fake the wood palette, and I want to fake the metal palette. So I can keep those in here. Hey, Lime, welcome to the stream. How you doing? And you know what? I actually want the brass palette that I have from a different video series that I was planning on working on. So let me append that palette as well. Where is that? I think this is in animations, fire pedestal, palette, brass. There we go. Okay, so there we go. I have... Oh, this is not what I wanted. Oh, man. Oh, that's the one. Okay, I clicked on the wrong one. And we'll fake this user too. Ah, I don't like it. Alright, we'll get rid of that one. Here, we'll uncheck the fake user because I don't want it. And then we'll get the metal. And we'll do metal. So that way it's an iron door. And that's just what we're used to. Okay, and then we can grab the paper. And for this, I just want kind of a yellowish white, like a parchment color, but like a dingy parchment color. Maybe something like that. All right, we have a basic door with some basic colors, and I do want to add in some hand painting stuff here, so let's go ahead and paint on this one face. And only this one face, so that way it like transfers to the door. Or transfers to the door rather. So let's go back to our wood palette, and we'll come in here with the stroke brush, and we will want to do a line, and not a fill, but rather whoa dog, stroke, line. Now, because I have limited time, I am not going to be hand painting this door like I usually do, where I get in here with a lot of extra detail and shading and stuff like that. But I am going to do a little bit. I'm just not going to do a lot of it. So now we can go back to the space here, zoom in a little bit, and we just want to add in a little bit of undertone, a little bit of darkness underneath the bars going all the way across, kind of, because the light will pick this up a little bit more, but I think it's like best to just kind of add in some of this, add in some of that dark shadow as a part of the texture. Go ahead and hide the hinges. And then I'll add a little bit of kind of like dinge at the bottom. We'll come back over this because this is going to be on the cave floor, so it's going to want to be a little bit dirtier than the rest of this. I wonder if my pen's going weird or if the casing on my screen is off. Something doesn't seem right as I'm kind of texturing this. So kind of dirty that up a little bit, and we'll dirty up the top. And then we got to get in and kind of remove some of those lines. We'll just do something like this. All right, so to get in here and clean up some of those lines, we're gonna just increase our roughness of those edges by blending out, just kind of lightly going over some of that. We'll have to come back and my process for wood is a little bit, it's a little weird, if I'm honest. Like, getting wood grain textures in there is something that like takes me a little bit because of the way that I like to do it. But I like the end result of it, so I'm okay with my method. But it does take a lot of time, and it is a lot of like going over it again and again and again. But no door has like perfect lines here, so. Kind of blend some of that. That already looks better. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm loving this door. I'm liking how this is coming out. If we were to, with the scene lights, oh, I guess I'd have to turn that back on. Oops. Sorry, I just punched my microphone. I apologize for that. All right, so I'm just kind of going back over and blending these a little bit more so they don't just stick out. They kind of fall into what you could almost perceive as a natural wood grain. Almost. get rid of that specular lighting. All right, what do you guys think of the door texture? I know an hour and 22 minutes in. We've modeled everything. We've got the door texture started. What do you guys think? Let's turn off the, let's do the lighting will play a huge part into it, but all right, I need to work on the tops, bottoms, and sides. So back to texture paint, only work on what we've got. Probably not even going to see this part of the door. But I don't want to leave it untextured, you know? You're definitely not going to see this part of the thing, but All right, I am good. I'm good with that texture. The only things that need to be textured now are the hinges, which if we bring those hinges back, we can see we haven't textured them yet. So let's just jump over to object mode, jump into texture paint, choose the door and hinges material, fill brush, and then choose the metal color that we used for the iron. Okay, and the last thing that we need, let's save that, is to texture the jewel. And the jewel, I'm going to give like a pink, reddish pink hue to it. Yeah. So, to texture paint mode, on the jewel, go to the material, select the door and hinges, and here we are for the stone. And I don't really have a color. So let's choose, let's go to a medium, probably a medium tone, somewhere like here. Maybe brighter than that. Something like that, maybe. And then maybe we get in here with some lighter color and kind of add some, let's go a little bit brighter. Well, I did find a problem with the mesh. Let's go ahead and hide the door. Missed a spot on the back of the nail. I'll fill that in real quick. It won't be a problem. Okay, cool. So there we have our door. We're good to go. And we have textured it. And we have... Shoot, we've modeled it, we've textured it. It's time to go ahead and try to rig it. Now this is where I'm a little less confident because I don't do rigging and animation on a regular basis. In fact, the only time that I've done it was for like stupid Flash animation or back in Toon Boom when I was teaching. Those are the only times that I did rigging. Really. Live stream confessionals, you know? So this part's going to be a little bit weird and going to be a little bit more experimental, try to figure out the exact process and everything. But by the time we're done, we should be able to have a door rigged and animated. Okay, so let's go ahead, do this. Cursor to the selected piece here. Look at this from the front. Oh, let's go to the layout workspace. And then we're going to add in a single bone here. Go into edit mode, move this up a little bit. Probably right before the door here. Mohammed, thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. And then what I'm going to do, I guess I will extrude off one. We'll take it down in the bottom direction, and then I want to, what is it? Is it P? No, that's two different objects now. Extrude off a bone here, and I want to, shoot, where is my rip? Split. Oh, it's Y. Okay. Nope. No, it's not. But it's going to be over here in... what is it, like Alt-P? Disconnect bone. There we go. Take this over here. Every time you add a bone, you get the chills. You know what? I feel that right now. I feel that right now. Okay, we'll shrink this thing down. Drop it right there. Okay. So, if we go into pose mode real quick on these bones, I just want to make sure that when I spin that, yeah, okay, it does spin the way I want it to. So, now I gotta try to remember how parenting works with bones. Shoot. We'll figure this out. I got this. I got this, guys. No problem. There's a problem, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. So I have one bone that's going to rotate the door, which is fine. That's what I want. And then I have a bone that I'm going to use over here on the handle, and that really should be it and everything I need. Maybe I'll turn this into like a couple of tutorial series videos. Once I'm done, we'll put this on the list of like an actual tutorial series instead of just... and then me, you know, doing it and fumbling around in a live stream. So, right. So, but here's what I don't want to do. So, I need to do some weight painting. Select that, and then what P, Control P, and then I want to, with automatic weights. Here we go. That should be fine. But then what I need to do is get into weight painting. Weight paint. Now, how do I select a bone? I suppose I can't just fill it, but what a bummer. Wait a second, what am I doing? That's dumb. Okay. What if we try this? So here to here, Control P, set parent to bone. There we go. So now I should be able to rotate the entire door. There we go. I am smart. Yeah, okay. So now that works, right? And let's do this. Where are my constraints? I do want to limit rotation. And I want to limit rotation on the X and the Y. And I only want to be able to rotate this on the Z-axis. Yeah. There we go. So now we have an object constraint here. Cool. But then I need to go into weight paint mode. Let's tag in edit mode. And how do I select? I just want to select this one bone here because if we select the bones, I go into pose mode and I rotate. That's gonna rotate everything. Yeah, there's gotta be a way to do it without having to make two separate, like on one rig instead of two separate rigs. Okay, there we go. I just had to have one bone selected here. And for this one bone, I don't want to have any weight on anything for that one bone. I think this is how this is going to work. I think. Don't quote me on that. Okay. So then I should be able to select on both of these, Control L, and then go back to weight paint mode, turn on that, and jack that up to 1, and paint all of this in. There we go. Got to get in there. Okay. So if I did that correctly, then I can go into pose mode Oh no. Yo, dog. What? Alright, so now I apparently got to go on the inside here. Okay, but it didn't do it before. I could do it on 2 different rigs. I gotta relearn rigging. Alright, so that one is fine. On a pose mode. Oh, I don't need an object constraint. I need a bone constraint. Here, there we go. Super Pro, thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. Goodness, you know what? Screw it. You're right, Mark. I'm just gonna make a two rigs for tonight because I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna give up. We're giving up. We're giving up. I'll figure it out later. I'll do it in the actual tutorial series. We'll figure out how to rig properly. But for tonight, it's not gonna happen. So go into edit mode. Let's look this thing up. Can I? What happens if I hit Control A? I want to apply the rotation. Cool. So then I should be able to just take this up, somewhere like that. Just all the weight painting. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You know. All right. So we want to set the parent to the bone, and there we go. And you know what we'll do? Here's actually what we'll do. We'll just grab this ring and separate that out. And there we go. Now we have a ring. I'll learn the right way to do it. Alright, and I also need to drop the stone. Cool. So let's add a bone constraint here. Oh, I guess we'll go in edit mode. With this bone selected, no, we want to add a bone constraint. What about pose mode? There we go. Limit rotation. Okay, I am not sure. What if we say 90 degrees? Perfect. And there we go. And that's as far as it's going to rotate. And then we won't rotate there. And then boom, the door is going to open and go. And we are awesome. That's what I'm saying. All right. There we go. And realistically, I mean, I could put the origin back. Origin to geometry, something like that. And then cursor to selected. And then we're going to add a new single bone here. Now this, I want to be a child of this bone so that when I rotate this one, uh-oh, maybe that's not how that works. Wait, what is it? Alt P to clear parent. So now, I should be able to pose mode on this bone. And let's add a bone constraint. I want to limit the rotation here. I don't want it to rotate at all on the y-axis and nothing on the z-axis. And so when I rotate it, what is it? Alt R to clear rotation. Cool. All right. So can I do this bone to that bone? So what happens if I go into pose mode now? Ah ha ha! Well, it almost works. Yo, look at that. All right. All right, so I figured out how to do it. I don't know. I don't know if that's how you were supposed to do it. But there we go. So essentially, all I had to do was make the handle a separate object and then apply, like, make this bone over here the parent or connected to the handle, and then just parent this armature to that bone. And then it apparently works. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to do it, but I did it and it works. And it's probably not the best way. Definitely probably not the best way, but we did it in 2 hours. Look at that. Now all we have to do is animate it. So let's come over to the animation. And I guess we need to bring back the render info. Let's go to object mode, grab this. I guess let's go to pose mode first and Alt R to clear out the rotation. So there we go. It's on normal. So pose mode, here we are, and let's say put in a keyframe here. So what is it? I for a new keyframe. And then I guess we go to frame 60 and rotate that 90 degrees to the negative. And then I guess what? Alt R. And so in 60 frames, there we go. We have it open. And then I guess maybe I would want to how do we just insert a keyframe? Key. Oh, just I. Okay, so just I then. All channels. There we go. Cool. And then we'd want to actually, I guess we could just hit Alt-R at that point. But I don't think that should close so quickly. Something like that. Okay. So then at frame 90, let's go back to object mode, grab this bone over here. Ah, shoot. Okay, undo that. And, guess we'll just insert all channels here for that one. Okay, and then insert I for all channels, and then I guess over 10 frames can return it to its fallen position. So now, if we go back and play this from the beginning, it should go in, the handle should lift up, and slam it shut. Boom! Who's an animator? I'm an animator. Get some. Okay. Gah, get some. Okay, cool. So let's see what this looks like with the texture on it. Does the door look like it's like hanging a little bit to the side? Or you think that's just the camera? It's probably just the camera. Boom. So we can go ahead and stop this, I guess, at 120. Perfect. Oh, I love this. I love this so much. I can play around with the timing a little bit, but I'm good with it. Be working at Pixar next week. Nope. I got a job paying more money. But look at that. Look at that, guys. We did that in 2 hours. Modeled, textured, animated. Boom. Done. There's your tutorial. I'll make it into an actual series. We'll make it into an actual series. But But yeah, cool. So now I have a game piece done. Or not a game piece, but I have an asset for the animation that I'll be working on, and we can get back to track on that. I like it. The handle, the door texture is not as complicated as I usually do it, because this time we only had limited time to hand paint on our wood textures. But I think the simplicity is nice, and I'm just gonna let this animation loop because I'm just proud of it. This is one of those, like, I've only done a handful of animations, and this is one of those that, like, all right, I'm kind of proud of. So I'm enjoying it. All right, guys. Hey, with that done, you studied Blender? You're in Peru now. That's crazy. Thank you for the compliment on the door. I appreciate that. So if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And if you want to see more stuff like this, I usually stream once a week. I try to stream on Tuesdays. Sometimes my wife has class at Tuesday nights, and so I don't have that ability. But if you're in the Discord, you will always get a notification when I'm about to go live. So thanks for watching, everybody. And on Thursday or Friday this week, I'm probably leaning towards Thursday to get back on my normal posting schedule. But on Thursday, we'll have the continuation and the ending of phase 1 of the character creation course, which is modeling the boots. I turned that into a 2-part video series. Both of them will be dropping on the same day. So check that out. And oh, MCM and Lime, dude, you're like double supporting my channel right now. I love it. Thank you. So yeah, Thursday those videos will drop out, or Friday, depending on like when I get all the junk done and tags and everything. But definitely later in this week, and then next week we'll be back, and I don't know what we'll work on. Maybe something else for the animation. Maybe we'll do one of the other characters that I expect to have in the animation. Maybe we'll try modeling a skeleton or a skeleton. Skeleton? I don't know. I wrote up like a whole chapter on like the first animation and like what I really wanted. So we'll see how it all goes. But the reason I'm saying all this is because when I was typing it up, all of the instances of skeleton at some point turned into skellington, like Jack Skellington. And I'm just not a writer, is what I'm getting at, apparently. So thanks for watching, everybody. It has been great hanging out with you guys. You have a good night, and I'm just going to keep watching this animation until I fall asleep. So until next time, you guys enjoy yourselves, and peace.